Alright guys, welcome back to another Garage Talk with the Smooth As Brothers, or known as Smooth As Detailing. Today we've got our good friend Antonio, known as a restaurateur, but also he's a car rev head and, you know, likes to get the engine roaring in the mornings. So
I think I am, but I can't change the oil, so I don't know how much of a rev head I am.
You got us to pick you up
That's
every time you
exactly
get a
right.
flat battery. Or...
I know how to pay rego, that's about it.
So we're gonna have a bit of a chat today and just see what's happening in Mr. Antonio's life. So I don't know, tell us a bit about yourself, I guess.
Car-wise?
Yeah, car wise. So let's start with, what was your first car?
First car, what a regret that was to sell. RX-7 Series 2. Red one. Yeah, red. Brought it off a guy it was his first car. He was 55, only owner. I brought it for $7,000 back in 2006-ish. And yeah, sold it to start my first business, or to buy my first van. But yeah, what a regret that was.
Yeah, wow. Did it, was it spent more time on the road or off road?
No, nothing.
Reliable?
It was completely stock. Just put an exhaust on it, little 12A in it. Completely stock, not an issue in the world. The only reason why I sold it was a couple of years later to kind of start my first little catering business. I needed a van, and I ended up selling it brought it for 7, sold it for 9. So
still made a profit.
Still made a profit. Right now, I'll probably be sitting on about 40, so spewing. But no, that was my first ride. I'm actually a rotary guy, to be honest. Nothing gets me off more than chicks and rotaries. So
is that where your heart lies, rotaries?
Rotaries.
Okay.
But
at the moment, you are currently
I've got an
two V8s.
XY and a Brocky.
Yeah.
Because I can't be fucked for the headache of a rotary.
Okay.
That's the honest truth.
So look, they're two iconic cars. So best of both worlds, because normally you have people that'll be like, nah, I'm a Holden guy, I'm a Ford. But when
you're a rotary guy, you don't give a fuck about what they do.
You don't care, that's right.
No, you don't care.
As long as it sounds good, goes
XY is more old school, reminds me of the uncles, the dad, back in the day, driving their XY. The Brocky, I love the Aussie history of the Brocky.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing beats the Brocky Aussie history, yeah.
I'm a Ford guy, don't get me wrong, but I do love the Brocky. That's like my dream goal, the VL Walkinshaw. The Brocky, that's what hits it off for me.
Hot.
Yeah, look, I was always a Ford guy, but I've loved Holdens too. So I like a VL, the Group A.
Yeah,
I love that. That's my, But we're saying all this, but then we're driving around in the Valiant, which was just an accident. Like Em said, if you own something that's totally different, then you can't be on one side. Yeah,
that's right. And if you're a rotary guy, I don't think you can choose sides. I think you just enjoy both. And
that's bad.
And yeah, I'd love to get my dream car was always, once I sold the RX-7, my dream car was Savannah, RX-3. I will get that one day. Just need to fork out about 150 grand. But
so is that what your ultimate thing is? Rotary?
Oh, look, ultimate. When you say ultimate now, when you get older, what's an ultimate in the end? You know what I mean? Like, cars are cars, they're hot, they're sexy, they turn heads, but it is just a car. Ultimate, yeah, would be a Ferrari. A 488 or a 458, but yeah, man, it's just a car. Really.
See, for me, it's hard to say ultimate because I get better things. Yeah. So I like to experience it and then move it on. Yeah. So I don't know.
So I probably will get RX3 and then move on from it, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Hopefully you guys keep an eye out for me. So there's not many on the road at the moment.
No.
There's not many on the road.
We have one customer that has one. Yeah, but they're always, I don't know, people don't drive them much. That's the thing. It's their little gems tucked away. Yeah. And sometimes you don't know what's even in your own estate. We always see cars coming around. They're like, oh, where'd that come from? Yeah. Like, who owned that? You never see them out. Yeah. So, are you love your exotic cars too?
Yeah, I do. I'm in love with the Porsches at the moment. The 911s, GTBs, GTBs. Did I get it right?
911
GT3s, not GTBs. Edit that out, Tim. And then, Ferrari. I mean, look, being Italian, God, it's your dream as a kid to have a Ferrari. So Lambo's not as much. I think some certain markets have exploited Lambos. But yeah, I think Ferraris is my dream to sit one in the garage and probably keep it forever. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Put
the wog slippers on.
Yeah, that's it, man. Put some put some dices in the front, and I'm talking about the old school Ferraris, man. I'm talking about like a 355 Ferrari. So
that's
something old school like that, man.
Nail on the head for me, mate.
Yeah, 355 is for us 90s. But growing up in the 90s, man, that was the Ferrari.
That was the poster car. That was what you had up.
Correct.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, they weren't even that expensive back then.
No.
There was a stage where like 90 grand. Yeah. You'd pick one up. Now it's like 290 grand.
Yeah. God, I wish I was growing up back
Would it be red?
of course. You can't touch it. Yeah, for me, it's.
I like the yellow ones, eh?
Yeah, but it's against the rules, man. It's a Ferrari. I'm sorry. I think Ferrari should never make any other colour but red.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because when you think Ferrari, what's the first colour you think?
That's right.
Yeah, red.
That's true. That's why it's got 2 R's in the name for red. So
I never thought of that.
It's, you know what? It's probably the only car that has a colour that sort of sticks to it. Like when you say it, because like if you say Porsche, what colour comes to you? I don't know.
Nothing.
Lambo.
Yeah, Lambo not much as well, man.
It's true. Hey, when you think Ferrari, you think red. You think
Ferrari's
anything else, you don't think.
Maybe Merc, because when you hear Merc black, everyone wants a black.
That depends if it's in the next shooting. In Sydney, but let's not go there.
So obviously so you got 2 cars that you like now.
Yeah.
Right, that you bought.
It's actually, to be honest, you guys found me the cars.
Yes.
I'm going to put that on the record. The boys did find me those 2 cars. It was partly because I love them, and partly investment.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. The boys told me, that said, look, man, we've got these 2. Well, the first one was the XY you guys found me. He said, look, go have a look at it, man. It is nut and bolt.
Yeah, it was.
Showroom condition. You won't find nothing cleaner. Walked up there, pretty much didn't even negotiate and said, that's mine, picked up the same day.
Yeah.
I believe it's grown in value to what I paid. Now I paid 100 grand. It was about 2 years ago now, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. And that thing's immaculate, like
immaculate.
Top to bottom.
Nut and bolt
too.
Yeah, nut and bolt underneath. I mean, you couldn't find anything closer to showroom condition. So I would say, I bought it because I love it. There's no doubt about it. I love driving it, but yeah, in probably a good 30% of it was invested because of investment.
It's smarter than putting the money in the bank.
Yeah, I think. Look, I've been offered 130, 140 for it now, and that's only 2-3 years later. So you do your maths, put 100 grand in the bank.
Yeah, you're not going to make that.
And you can't enjoy having your money in the bank. So no, I think that's it. And the Brocky was during lockdown. I took advantage of all the pussycats who stayed in and didn't travel. So I said, nah, screw it. I went regional. So we saw it online. You boys said, look, Amp, go have a look at this, man. This looks really neat. I jumped on it. Went down there and made a really good deal with the guy. Got it for 70 grand. Nut and bolt as well. He just fully restored it. Sprayed it himself. Everything's completely new. And whether that's moved up in value over the last year or 2, so be it. But I'll probably keep it for the next 5-10 years.
It's funny, like when COVID first started, there was just like a little section where things sort of came down in price. Like
just a little pocket of
where you could just jump in, take that risk, and
it was a couple of months of just you could grab a good deal, and then people realised, you know what, this COVID stuff isn't too bad. So things went back up again because people couldn't travel, so they had more money. Instead of spending 20-30 grand on a Europe trip, they were going, I'm going to go put on my car or whatever.
Yeah, and they did.
And they did.
Yeah, they did.
So for us.
But do you think the market will hold?
Now it's hard because now it's not COVID. Now it's interest rates, real shit. It's like, $1 million loans
I think the boys out there have got cash, man. There's cash. There's cash
out there. But I think it's the people that haven't got a lot of spare cash, or just had enough just to buy that car, or they've thought, okay, you know what, stuff it. Interest rates at 1.9%, I think it was.
2%, say
I'll build the pool. I'll buy a car. So those people there, I think they're the ones that are going to be hurting.
But the blokes that are, not just cashed up, but are well thought out, and they'll hold on to what they've got.
2008 was the same. I don't know if you remember.
Nah, man.
My business turned to shit in 2008. Like I was basically sitting at home, twiddling my thumbs. My brake business, There was about 6, and I was trying to sell the business. It was about six months where I was making hardly anything. And interest rate, I think my home loan, I fixed it because I thought it was going to get worse. It was at 9.3%.
That's nothing.
And
it's sitting at fucking 1 for the last 12 years.
It was hurting. And same thing then, like it was even on the news, people were selling Ferraris and Lambos, all these people that had all their money tied up. They probably were worth a lot of money, but a lot of it was tied up. They were offloading cars cheap, you know what I mean?
Well, look, our Prime Minister now is pretty much Italian, so the prick should get rid of fucking luxury car tax for all Italian cars, just saying that. If you really wanted to be passionate about being Italian, but that's, let's see what he does. I'm not a Labour supporter, I'm a Liberal supporter, so I'm not a massive fan.
If you buy an Alpha, no transfer.
No transfer, that's right. You're Italian, that's right. Fucking knock it on the Germans' cars, who cares?
You're buying a Merc, nah.
But interesting times ahead, I would say. Interesting times, and I think while the property market's going to go down, I believe that the car market is going to stabilise, especially the old school market, because I think that anyone who would be saving up for a deposit of a house now is waiting for houses to come down. I think that if they've got a bit of spare change, I think they may spend it on when you say luxury cars, I mean XY is a luxury car these days because what's a luxury car? Luxury car is a car that you drive once every 3 months.
Yeah, it's not so much
an old school luxury car. So I think guys may still spend it and say, fuck the investment for now. Let's enjoy something for now, and then we'll wait for interest rates maybe to come down or interest rates to stabilise, and then we'll talk about it in a couple of years buying a house. So maybe cars will be an interest.
I think we'll get rid of the dreamers, the prices that are just ridiculous, and we'll bring it back to what they're really.
Yeah, but that's Sydney's full of dreamers. It's as simple as that. Sydney's full of dreamers. You've got the real guys who know what's going on, guys like yourselves, who know what's going on, and then you've got dreamers like me who have got no fucking idea, and we just fucking throw money into things. They don't even know what's going on.
There's iconic cars have never really dropped off in price.
They've either stabilised or just
stabilised,
up.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. But your average stuff, 100%. Your mock-ups, 100%.
Yeah.
Like you said, property, mate. Well, they're trying to slow down inflation.
Yeah.
But the property's crazy.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect vehicles.
No, I don't
think it does. I don't think it affects vehicles. If you need a car, if it's an everyday car, if you need it, you're gonna buy it. You're gonna hackle. I'm trying to sell a car at the moment, and people are definitely hackling at the price. There's no doubt about it. But that's part of the game.
Used cars is crazy because they can't get new cars.
Yeah. But I think that's starting. I can see it starting to be the point where people don't want to be that sucker that paid 70 grand, 75 grand for a Hilux to 2020 model.
I reckon your $10,000 to $20,000 cars will sell like If you want just a cheap automatic car that's
a nice Corolla or something.
Yeah, and especially now with all the floods, how many cars have got written off?
Good point. I didn't think of that.
So that 5 to 25 grand again. That's right. People just recover.
This is the fourth flood, by the way. It's not.
So
this video is not old.
We've
done another flood.
We had like 700
there's another
rain.
So there's another one.
So what was that gap, right, between selling your RX-7, your first car that you really loved, to achieving another car that you really loved?
Was that the R8?
Was the Club Sport
R8?
Yeah,
it was a clubby. So it was 2007, 2006 got the RX-7, sold it in 2009 to buy my first van, really fun van. It was a fucking Ford. Brought the van, started the catering business, and I promised myself that, because I remember selling it, I was so distraught. I actually didn't, the day the guy came to pick it up, I didn't even hand him the keys, Rego. I told my dad, fuck that, man. I put someone, I used to come home from work, just to tell you, I used to come home from work I used to work at a reception lounge, and I used to come home and work at 3 o'clock in the morning. If it was raining, put it in the garage, and I would shimmy it before I went to bed.
Yeah.
That's because for me, $7 grand back then was I worked my fucking ass off for that $7 grand.
Money, true love. I
was on like $70 a night. It was a 10-hour shift. Right, I was exploited. Yes, but $70 a night. You do your maths. Like I would bust my ass. So that, my pride and joy, I would shimmy it at night, make sure it was all crystal clean, put the car cover over it every single night in the garage. That's how fucking stupid I was. And I remember when the guy came to pick it up, I didn't want to sell it, but I knew I was going to do something with that $9 grand.
Yeah.
And between that period, I said I'm going to work my ass off, but I'm going to buy myself something really nice, which was probably around 2014 model. That's right. So we're now talking 5 years. I brought the brand new HSV Club Sport.
And was that like a little reward to yourself for your hard work?
And the best reward was 3 weeks later, I got pulled over a cop and he took it off me for 3 months. Yep. Horsey drive. I did 45 over on Easter Day. I remember that. So yeah, I had it for 3 weeks. Got taken off me for like 3 months.
That's just a little reminder.
That was a reminder. And ever since then, I've drive very sensibly. So,
very sensible.
But yeah, that was my little reward, and I think it's good to have that, especially in business. You've got to sacrifice a lot in business in regards to financial sacrifice. You can't always go out and spend, but set little goals for yourself, and that's where the XY came along as well. It's just like, you know what, after the clubby, the XY would be my next big purchase, but that again was 5 years later. So
it wasn't like straight after it.
No. I don't think you should. I think you've got to be smart with your money and smart with your purchases, and just wait, hold. The time will come, and organically you'll buy something with guys like yourselves who obviously you've now found me a ute. So I'm hopefully going to pick up a ute next week, which is what ute is it?
This is D-Max.
That's it. So as long as they tell me it's good,
it's good. It's
a good deal.
Yeah, so when we find a good deal, we'll ring Ev.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter what car it is, as long as it's got 4 wheels.
Yeah, if Ev says no, then we go to our other, because we like to, if we find something that's really good and we're not buying it or can't buy it or whatever it is.
Yeah, share the love.
We want to share it to someone else that can grab something.
That's right.
Yeah. So after the first business, so you started as a waiter, Yeah, a reception now,
Yeah.
which is very hard work.
Very hard
I did that as well.
That's right. Did you clean toilets? I cleaned toilets as well.
I never really got to the
No,
toilets.
I was a king of cleaning
I've done a lot of
toilets.
shit, it was a lot of shit work. And then you started the fondue.
Yeah, then I started doing catering. I started doing like a chocolate fondue catering. Sounds really...
How old were you?
18, 17, 18, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just left school. I've never had a full-time job, so I left school, did that, and then went into starting a restaurant when I was 22.
Yeah. So that would have been a scary.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. It was at that time where I was actually saying this to someone the other day. When I opened my first restaurant, which we're talking like 10 years ago now, it was at that transition period where the new style restaurants were coming through. And when I say the new style, kind of like the rustic restaurants, the things where it was served on boards, timber boards. Right. You know, there was a lot of finesse in how you served the food, not necessarily how it tasted. It was just more how you served it. You went away from those old school Italian white tablecloth restaurants to then these new era of restaurateurs like myself, the funky kind of guys. I was pretty funky, pretty young, and there's a lot open up in the area, you know. So that was the transition period. So it wasn't stressful. It was just kind of hitting the mark and making sure that you weren't you wanted to be new.
You were definitely
innovative.
You were definitely new.
You know, we're serving fucking olives in tuna tins, like, you know, recycled Serena tuna tins. So it was those little quirky things that made people come back. Yeah, the food tasted really nice, there's no doubt about it, but it was those little things that made like, oh man, instead of just going to get like a little white porcelain bowl of olives, you would go and get a tuna tin, and that brought people in. I know it did. It was all those little characters.
I think that was during the time too where people were really into their restaurants and posting on social media, right?
It just started.
Like Instagram and bloggers
10
and all
years
that
ago.
sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so
we're talking like 2010, 2012, around that period. It just started. That was like very new to post and get your name out there through social media. So
people
I mean,
taking photos and going, oh my god, look at this.
Yeah. If you look at photos, like I've looked back at the Facebook page back when we first started, like the photos, the definition on your phone was fucking shit.
Yeah,
but it worked. Back then it worked.
Yeah.
And I think now in 10 years' time, we're going to look at a definition on our phones now and go, fuck, how bad were those photos?
Yeah.
But yeah, even with, I see you guys, when you post your stuff on here, I think that in 10 years' time, there'll be another whole way of showing off your cars.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but there'll be a whole new
We're
way.
always trying new things. Even with our products and marketing it, we're always like, okay, let's try this. Like, it's just forever.
Yeah, social media is just always forever.
But like
growing.
your restaurant there, I heard about it before I even met you.
You heard about it before?
The restaurant.
Oh,
before
the
even
first one.
you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. I met these guys
Check
through
out
the
this
restaurant.
place and
Yes.
blah 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 blah.
Well,
Yeah.
funny enough, right, me and my mates used to hang out where the restaurant was getting built before it was built. So we used to, like, you know, when you're 17, 18, you hang out with your mates.
Little drift hangout.
Yeah.
Drift hang out, you know, team platers and doing things.
Because it was in an industrial area. It was on the brink of industrial resi.
Yeah. Not that you're supposed to do silly things like that in industrial.
No.
No. I did plenty of it, but you shouldn't do it.
No.
So
I never did.
Me and my mates used to always hang out, and then we saw this signage coming up, restaurant coming soon. This dickhead taking our spot, you know what I mean? And then, you know, a year later, we're eating there and we meet an owner. And
Fuck, 10 years out, I'm doing a podcast with these
So that's how it happened. And when we first, same thing, like when we first walked in, we're like, what is this place, man? There's wheelbarrows hanging off the roof, there's old shovels on the floor.
It's the same, like you guys have now moved into the era of, so like, if you want to compare it to Smooth As, to what our first restaurant was, it's like you moved into the era now of the new detailing world.
Yeah.
Now, the old detailing world is, and they probably still do a good job, but they're probably 50 now, drives around in his van, he cleans your car like no tomorrow, and he goes home. But the new world is, I mean, it's not really a detail unless you take some really nice snaps and put it on Instagram and you show people this and you show people what it looked like when it was dirty to now what it looked like clean, and maybe a motion video, and that's a new world of detailing, and that's what it was like back in the restaurant game. It wasn't really the restaurant game unless you posted it on social media, or unless you served it in something funky that's never been served before, or else it's just the same shit.
Yeah.
And same shit. Even though the product would be olives, anchovies would be anchovies. No matter if you went to that guy down the road who's been doing it for 50 years, or if you came to me who served it up quickly.
Product is the same.
Product's the same. It's like services of, you know, I'm not saying you guys are better or worse, but you know, there's probably some old school guys out there that can detail just as good as you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're not known now because
they've been left behind.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like our dad's trying to put something on social media. Like, fuck, imagine that.
Not gonna happen.
Imagine that. That would be so dangerous.
So then you got rid of that restaurant as time went on, and you moved into
I sold just before lockdown. Had no fucking idea lockdown was coming, by the way. So
Crazy,
we sold just in 2019. Lockdown ended up happening in 2020, COVID. So the new owners came in and they took over, which was a blessing for me because it was a really good opportunity for me to kind of focus on the new restaurant, which I'm at now at the moment, Olivello. So yeah, it was just it was a good chance just to kind of breathe a little bit. Running 2 restaurants, it's not easy. It's rewarding, just not easy.
Yeah.
So it was a good chance just to focus on that, and yeah, good timing as well with the lockdown. Didn't plan that, but it just happened.
And then how was the transition, say, from going from that funky, rustic look to something that's more?
Or again, you're going. The transition had to happen. So you're going with.
Were you going with the trends, but or was it something you wanted to do?
No, you had to. A bit of both, but you had to. Like no matter what, and I know that in 5, 6, 7 years time, I would need a revamp. I would need to change things up because at the moment it's a very white. You guys were there last night, having some pizzas and pastas, but yeah, it's a very white, clean, polished restaurant at the moment. Italian marble, simple. Very completely different to rustic. Yeah. I hate that word rustic now. I'm over it. It's done. The plateware is all white now. There you go. So we've gone back to now completely white. We don't serve pizzas on boards. We don't serve meat on boards. It all has to be on plates. But then no fucking tuna cans, mate.
The bowl costs a bit of money.
Yeah, that's it.
The bowl's got weight to it.
Terracotta now, actually, terracotta. So I've gone into that transition of terracotta and plates, and yeah. So I just think that in business, it's not. If you don't keep up, so I've kind of watched the big boys in our industry. Who have been around for 30, 40 years, they also go with the trends. Even though they probably don't want to, you've got to go with the trends. Like you've got to innovate and renovate constantly. It costs money, but everything's a tax deduction, so you just constantly do it. And yeah, I think that in 5, 6 years time, whether I've even got this restaurant, I'll sell it, move on to another restaurant. But it will definitely be going with what's around in the market.
So I guess we can learn from that. Like, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you can't be stuck in your ways.
No, you
have to.
I'm adamant that you guys will change up also the way that you sell yourselves.
Yeah,
you do a great job at the moment. I hear everyone comment. A lot of people know that we're mates, and they're like, man, what your mates do is it's electric, but it's only because of what you post.
Yeah, that's right.
If you didn't post, no one will know who Smooth As was.
That's right.
So how did Fat Franks come along?
Oh, Fat Franks, yeah, Fat Franks was a cool little project. It's actually because of the car scene Fat Franks started. So we had a little food truck, and we took that food truck to a store during COVID because we needed a fast food. So our restaurant was closed obviously for 3 months, the first lockdown, and we said, nah, fuck this, man, we need to do something. So we quickly popped up a store in Wetherill Park, and it was a car scene that kind of got us going because we had all the car meets there, and Fat Franks kind of just evolved from that, and yes, we just some really cool Philly cheesesteaks in Wetherill Park. And
if you haven't tried it, try it.
Yeah,
Philly cheesesteaks.
We did a car meet there, so we'll post a couple of photos. Yeah,
we'll do another one.
Yeah, good.
So that was just evolved from COVID. It was just sitting around doing nothing. We popped up a store within, I think it was about 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks. We opened up a store. We took over an old Subway. We had the opportunity to take over an old Subway, so we just took it over. And 2.5 years later, we're still there. And interesting business. Like it's a fun business. It's simple. It runs itself, and we hope to pop up a few more stores.
That was like, I remember that conversation too, because I think obviously you were off and you were bored as anything, and we've never seen you like that before. And then you came in, you're like, you know what, fuck it.
Borderline depressed.
I've got to do something. I'm going to start something.
Yeah.
And you had that idea, and then you just went full steam ahead. Why people were scared, holding back, not?
Oh, look, it was a small investment in the big scheme of things. Like we knew it was going to come back. Like we knew it,
but still, you didn't know how long.
We didn't know how long, and the reality is, people are at home, and we're like, but you know what, Uber and those platforms kind of told us, well, if people are at home, they're still got to eat. They've got this money from the government, so fuck, they've got to spend it somewhere. What makes people more happier than food?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we know it. We're Italian. We grew
makes
up.
Me very happy.
Like food for us is our life.
It's
food. Food and cars for you guys is our lives.
I always say to my wife, I always say to Ash now, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I wish I didn't enjoy food. Like, I get the shit. I love eating. I'll eat to the point where like some people they'll eat and then that's it. They're like our cousin Christian, he'll eat, but like.
What's your all-time favorite food? Like just like everything that you can eat every night and just not get sick of.
The gnocchi last night was really nice.
That fucking gnocchi. What is your missus or your mum make that you cannot fucking Cannot live without.
Coteletti.
Okay, see, me
Schnitzel.
too.
No, not for me. Like,
Schnitzel.
Yeah, me too.
Look,
Schnitzel and
it
salad.
never was pasta, but yeah, I can smash pasta. But
Yeah.
Nat makes a lot of different dishes. She's always trying new
Yeah, but
things.
I think I'm saying if you had no choice, you had to have it every day, every night.
Mine's schnitzel and pasta with beans. All day, every day.
Yes, I don't know. if
My
I
bed doesn't
can
agree
answer that.
at night, but pasta with beans all day, every day.
Pasta's usually. I can't answer that question. You put
And
me on the
coffee.
spot.
And coffee.
And
Yeah, I could live on coffee.
I couldn't think of life without coffee.
And I love chocolate, man. Wow.
Really? Yeah, nah, fuck chocolate.
Yeah, if you don't be watching
Except
the
this,
stories.
Gloria Jeans, we'll give you a plug so you hopefully sponsor the boys. But this coffee from Gloria Jeans,
Drive through
White-
freebies are.
White choc mocha.
white choc mocha,
Try it.
On
Gloria
almond.
Jeans.
White chocolate mocha on almond.
Seriously?
This wasn't on almond, so I hope Rob's alright. This guy couldn't bother changing it. I was like, just get all three the same.
No, very, very good.
It was
So
good.
we'll hit up Gloria Jeans.
It's funny.
So what I want to ask you, what was your hardest moment out of your career so far? What would be one of the hardest moments for you, as in like, is in business wise and mentally?
Business life, mentally, whatever. Like that one moment you go, man.
Like when you say,
You almost want to throw the towel in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't say
You
one.
have a few of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a specific one moment. For us in hospitality, the biggest moments you just like you rack your brain over and you want to scream sometimes, and it just makes you think, fucking, why am I doing this? Is when staff don't rock up, they're calling in sick, and it's happening a lot now.
Yeah.
A lot is happening in our industry, probably worse than it's ever been. But they're the times where, so we don't have a choice. I'm not saying you guys, we've had this conversation before, I'm not saying you guys have it easier than us or harder, but you know, if Rob's sick today, you can just tell that guy who's meant to bring in his car, say, look, man, I'm really, really sorry. Just bring it tomorrow, mate. I'm not feeling well. I promise I'll get it done for you. Yep, no worries, mate, done. With us, we don't have that choice.
Yeah.
So, you know, today we've got an event on in the day. We've got a bridal shower, and tonight we've got a massive 50th birthday event. Now, and plus a la carte as well. I don't have the choice to, so, you
You
know.
don't have the flexibility of saying,
No,
hey,
wait.
can you come tomorrow?
So I could get 2-3 messages right now, which happened last week, where staff said, hey, look, I've woken up really, really sick. I've done a COVID test, I'm positive, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all fucking bullshit, but I can't come in. So there you go, I've just lost 3 staff. But I can't then say to the function, hey, listen, you're being booked in for 4 months. I can't do your event.
Yeah.
Because I've just lost 3 staff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a brickie that it rains and I'll get the job done tomorrow. I promise you I'll get the job. So that's where, they're the times where you kind of like, you scratch your head, because you got to still make the client happy, you got to get the food out, and you got to represent your business to be this, you know.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Inedible, this business, and no matter what happens, you're gonna make the job work, and you're calling on family, friends just to come help out. I've called Phil a few times, won't fucking do that again. But
Got to remember the line.
yeah, and they're the specific times where for me I just want to fucking cry some days and just go,
I remember we were there one night and he had a waiter that dropped plates, and then like 5 minutes later he dropped the whole thing in glass, and I was like, man, Ev must be losing it.
Yeah.
Where'd you find this bloke?
It comes
probably you.
It comes with the territory, but yeah.
But you know how you say we have a choice? Like normal people, we're not normal. Normal people do, but we book ourselves, because consistency is a major thing in our business. So we book ourselves that much out that we can't say tomorrow to that customer, oh look mate, we'll do it tomorrow, or we're sick, we'll do it the day after. It's got to be 5 weeks later.
Yeah, it's
So-
like if we don't get it done that day.
Yeah. So there's days where we wish we had a worker, because like he's sick as anything, or I'm sick and we're still working. I've got a massive headache, I'm still working. So we sort of know how that feels.
It's a shit feeling.
I don't know how you deal with workers, because like I just
Look, no,
haven't got
they're
patience.
Workers are fine. Like, I mean, employees are, especially now. Like, if you get the right team, and we've restructured the business on purpose over the last 2-3 months, kind of because I could see what's happening with the world and inflation and possibly heading towards a recession, and I restructured the business where I started to downscale a little bit and restructure the business so I could. So the team that I've got now are such a fucking good team. Even if they were sick, like last week we had a few staff calling sick, but they were more than newer staff. But I've got probably a group of about 20 staff that have been there for a little while now, and they're so committed. Even if they are sick, they'll still make an effort to come in. The staffing is actually, to me, it's not the issue. For me, it's the expectation of customers has increased so much over the last 2-3 years. I want blood for a fucking plate of pasta.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up, man. Seriously, like, it's like we're doing the hardest we can, man. You know, there's nights where we are short staffed, and it probably will reflect in our service a little bit. But anyway, we're still punching out some good plates of gnocchi and pasta and some pizzas. But yeah, they want blood. They really do believe that they're spending, you know, 10 grand on a plate of pasta. And I'm not disrespecting, you know, $30 on a plate of gnocchi is a lot of money for a lot of people, and I'm not disrespecting that. But one little minor error, I think that's where a lot of restaurants and cafes are really putting their hands up right now and going, fuck, this is not worth it, because people just don't have any leeway in things going wrong, and that hurts. Like, it's so fucking hard to deal with.
You're right, like everyone wants good service. Like, we want to go and have a
there's no doubt about it. That's what we do.
But at the same time, like, probably because you're business owners, you understand, like, things happen.
Yeah.
Understand, like you said, have a little bit of leniency.
Yeah. No, there's none at the moment, and that sucks. And I know that's turned off a lot of guys from either opening up a cafe, restaurant, or continuing to run, because they're just saying, oh, fuck, man, dealing with this shit every day. Like, it's enough you're trying to do with staff, and you're trying to do with lettuce costing $12, and you got to try to put it on a plate and make some fucking money off that. Everything's going up in price. Yet you got a customer there whinging because, you know, his schnitzel and chips came out, you know, 3-4 minutes later than everyone else on the table. Yeah. I mean, shit happens. We're all human.
Yeah, that's true. It was like, we always had a dream, like, when we were a bit younger, years back, that I would love a cafe or a restaurant, this and that. And it looks like somewhat of a glorious life at first, but then, like,
it's not.
As we met Amph and we learnt about it, and we helped them out here and there, and
definitely not even help fucking restaurants.
Friends that have had cafes and stuff, and now it's not really on my.
It's glorious when you sit there, and I've got this number one rule that I have when I explain to anyone who wants to own up a restaurant or business, and I say it is rewarding to one sense. Okay, I mean, I love food, so being in this game, it's me. But you don't open up a restaurant or cafe to be sitting out there with your mates drinking it. Your mates and your family, it's going to sound rude, but they come last in business.
Yeah.
When it comes to, they walk in, so you boys were there last night, I barely even got a chance to fucking go over and speak to them.
Yeah, you're flat out.
Not because they paid their bill, nothing was for free, they paid their bill, but it's not as if they were the room was full, but it wasn't if you guys weren't a priority. No. To me, everyone else, there was another 20 tables, the other 19 tables were my priority, not these guys. Because you know what, these guys, something went wrong, someone go fuck themselves, here boys, it's on the house, see you later. They're my mates, family, you don't worry about them. And that's why people have this perception that you open up a cafe or a restaurant to be, oh man, I want to open a cafe, I want to drive my car, park at the front, I want to get out, have a coffee whenever I want, tell the chef to cook me whatever I want. It's actually completely different.
Yeah, it's not like the movies, eh?
If you have that mentality, you're going to fail straight away.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be the complete opposite. You rock up there, you got to jump in there and help the chef. You got to jump there and help the bartender. You got to make the fucking coffees. Your mate rocks up, you tell your mate to wait.
Yeah.
If I'm your mate, you wait. Yeah. You serve those other customers first.
And you know what, but like in any business, and we've said this to a lot of people, like, don't start it up thinking that all your mates are going to come and be your customers, because like we've made, like, once again, customers, and we became friends. We've made friends out of customers.
Yeah, but we're the type of people that don't expect free meals or don't expect service. Not A1. If you have mates and family that think that, then they're not the right people for this other thing. Like,
gotcha.
To be supporting your business.
You don't rely on, that's a very small
some of your mates will support you and be your customers and stuff.
Yeah, mates have done functions.
Majority of times, mate.
No, you don't rely on
it.
If you're relying on that, that's not a very
There's an Instagram reel going around at the moment, and it goes, if you want to see who your real friends are, start a business. I was like, that's a good one. I read that.
Valid point.
Yeah, valid point. So,
but it was good, like you were just saying now, like you can see things changing with like inflation and all this stuff, interest rates. So you're acting early.
I had to.
Which is good.
3 months ago, because I could see the transition happening.
And that's what we've been doing. We've been acting early, because a lot of people wait, and then you put yourself in a hole. It's going to be hard to...
You prepare yourself for the worst, and might not happen, and then you don't lose out much. But if something does happen, then you're ready to go.
I agree.
So, and you can take that in any business, I guess, not just restaurants or cars.
No, any business, man. Anything. I know a lot of guys who are reshuffling their businesses now. Is that kind of similar to what I'm doing as well now? Just actually... From screaming out for staff, they're remodeling their businesses where it's like, okay, well, I normally need 30 staff. I'm going to reshuffle the business, so I only need 22 staff. So there's 8 staff where I don't have to hunt. I save on some wages and hopefully still make the same money. But I think you need to. I think it's very important over the next 24 to 36 months.
And even if you don't own a business, even if you're just a worker for a company and you notice the company doing that,
Start restructuring yourself.
Start restructuring your personal life.
Up your game, man.
Up your game.
So your boss isn't going to let go of you. Your employee is not going to let go of you. He's going to say, you know what? Out of the 20, I want to keep this guy because fuck for me, if my staff don't pull their weight to a certain degree, they're the first. It's just not in a prick way, but just when you're doing your weekly rosters, we've got a lot of casual staff, but if that one staff member that you're on $25 an hour and that one staff member that's not pulling their weight every shift, they're the staff members that I last think of to put on.
Yeah.
And they might really need that $100.
Well, you need your 18 every time.
Yeah, you need your 18, and there's certain shifts where you're so busy, you've got 200 people in the restaurant, you're kind of grabbing anyone to put on. So you kind of need to put those staff on. But if it's just like an everyday night, like last night was a decent night. It wasn't overly busy, wasn't quiet, but I had my A team on, and they're the guys that I'll put on every single shift. So I definitely think as an employee, if you've got no ambitions to open up something yourself or do something yourself, then up your game and make sure you've got a job, because I think you're going to need it over the next.
What's your advice for someone that's starting a business up? Doesn't matter what it is.
I
know there's a few things you could.
It's not really advice. It's just I kind of wish that I was back there as well, because as you boys will know, especially yourself, Rob, you've got 2 kids. We haven't got a family as such. But yeah, when you've got responsibilities and you've got decent bills and you've got a mortgage or whatever it is,
real shit.
It's hard to then think like a guy starting up.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is if you've got no responsibilities, you're coming out of school or you're young and you've probably just got a missus or a boyfriend, whatever way you swing, and
do it now.
Do it now. Yeah. Don't wait, man, because
the risk factor's not.
The risk factor, it's different now. Like talking 12, 13 years in business since I was 18, I've never had a full-time job. Your mindset changes now because I've got responsibilities. I've got chefs who rely on me to pay them their wage at the end of the week, and I've got family that works for me.
Yeah. You're essentially supporting their family,
we're supporting each other.
Yeah, but if you packed up your shit one day and said stuff this.
Yeah, well, I've got family. I've got my mum and dad work for me.
That's right.
Mum and dad work for me, so you've got to make their wage at the end of the week, and so you start thinking a little bit different.
Yeah.
When I first started my first restaurant, I was like, fuck, man, whatever happens, happens. I fail. I'm the one that's going to fail.
Yeah, that's right.
No one else is going to lose money. Right now, no one else is going to lose money, but you start to think, a bit of reputation comes in play, and it's a little bit different. So my view is if you're young, not even young, sorry, if you just haven't got that many responsibilities and you've got that little spare cash, just fucking give it a shot, man. You don't know what can come out of it.
Yeah.
So
and if it does pick up momentum, just don't spend all that money as a wage.
No.
Always put aside.
Not for one rainy day, 30 rainy days.
Yeah.
Put it aside.
We've been smacked with some rainy days this year,
literally.
Not literally with the rain, but yes, that too. But with COVID and lockdowns and interest rates going down, and then floods, and then this and that.
You can put money.
So we've made a few errors too. Not errors, but like I said, because I support a family, I need a little bit more of an income. But if we
more than us do, because we're not feeding. We're feeding.
That's right.
He's feeding 2 mouths, like him and his missus.
Yeah.
I'm feeding 1. You're feeding 4.
That's right. And then if I was to spend, just say the business, for example, makes $5,000 a week, and you split it 2.5, and you've left nothing in the business. Well, then where are you going to get your materials from? And your business is going to fall to bits. It won't last long.
Yeah. I've got a rule, a formula that I say spends 5%. It sounds really crude, old school, but spend 5% a week of your wage.
Yeah.
On yourself.
5%
on yourself. On yourself.
Yeah. On shit that you really didn't need to.
Yeah.
5%. And if you're on I know that sounds really harsh. If you're on $1,000 a week, you're spending $50. That's it, man.
Yeah.
5%.
Yeah. If
you're on $5,000, I don't know the maths these.
10's 500.
We'll
get there in the end.
But what we normally do, I normally check what we've turned over, and then I'll minus the GST straight off the bat. I'll minus a percentage for expenses.
Yeah. And that's another big thing that catches people out of business is GST. So what we did was, and it took me a fucking couple of years to learn this because I used to get so cut. The account used to get so high, and we used to do our quarterly basses.
Yeah.
So high. And I used to get so cut when it's like, you need 30, 40 grand. Gee, and what the fuck do you mean, man? I was so happy. So now what we do is each week went to ANZ and the plug there. So then went to ANZ about 3-4 years ago, and I said, okay, we're setting up a separate account, just an off account that pretty much incurs fuck all interest, and every single week. So if we make the restaurant makes 60 grand this week, we just automatically, whether we have to pay the GST or not, we just transfer over 6 grand, 7 grand, 5 grand. We just keep transferring it over. Yeah. And sometimes it happens last quarter where I only think I needed to pay like 40 grand GST, but I had like 52.
Yeah.
Hectic. 12 grand.
That's what I do. Like whatever wage we take,
money for them.
Yeah, whatever wage we take, I'll put a percentage straight into a different account to cover my PAYG, and then loan, whatever, and then a bit in savings, and then whatever's left.
You're left with $10.
It's like that sometimes, man. Our shared account, remember, my friend.
Yeah.
But business is like a cappuccino, right? And some old school guy once said this to me, a fruit shop guy. He said, fucking fruit shops, people think that we make money because people need a ring, but our shop is like a cappuccino. I said, what the fuck do you mean like cappuccino? He goes, well, think about it. That's all expenses. You know that froth at the top?
That's all you get.
That's my profit. And it's so easy to sip and get rid of.
It is.
That's how quick it is.
First 2 sips is gone.
That's it. It's like a cappuccino.
I always say,
chocolate on the top.
I think we've spent more than I've taken as a wage.
Yeah, and you think how?
Because like health funds, school fees.
But you chose to have fucking 2 kids.
They're using shoes as bloody brakes on their bike. It's
go to a nice restaurant last night. They don't touch the food.
I had to go on his son last night for that. to get off his iPad.
No, we've learned now, but when we go out to eat, we just one meal and halve it for them.
Yeah, hard.
Because they're not big eaters.
Hard, man. I taught all customers to do that, man.
And then I end up eating the rest.
Because if you can, another view on business, if you can try educate your customers, kind of like you boys do it. It's not all about upselling, right? Because upselling can actually really affect your business as well, in some aspects. So if I'm always going to go out there and upsell, like last night, I just keep upselling, and all of a sudden you walk out there and you spend $200 a head. Well, I made $200 a head. Sounds great, yeah?
But they're going to think they've overspent.
They're overspent. They're not going to come back every week as a restaurant.
Yeah.
We're not talking in your game. They're going to feel a little bit less comfortable. So sometimes I actually like to go out there and say, okay, listen, there's 5 of you on the table. We'll take it easy. Just get 2 pizzas, a couple of pastas, a salad, and get the kids to share them. And they feel more comfortable, and they go, you know what, we're going to come back next week.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't trying to jar us.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to screw us. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to just upsell. I don't know businesses you need to upsell to make money, but sometimes you can be a little bit. It's like you guys. Like I come in here. Sometimes like, listen, if you don't need that, man, let me just buff this a little bit here.
That's right.
And that's enough.
Yeah.
Like relax, man. It's you're gonna drive it back out and you're gonna thrash it. And it makes me come back again the following time. Probably only spend another $200 with you guys just for a quick touch up. But it makes me feel more comfortable with you guys.
We actually do that because like
I did it last night. I was messaging at the restaurant. I was messaging our mate, and he wants the whole package on his car. And I said, look, this is the price for this, but you know what? You don't really need that because you keep the car inside, or you don't keep the interior dirty. So save yourself the $400-500 that I just quoted you on. Just do this.
Look, there's a lot of
we do it all the time.
Even with pre-sales, that's how I'll go all out. I'm like, mate, why spend $1,000? You're selling the car.
Yeah.
Majority of people that are going to come and look at it won't even see that because you got a gun eye. Let's just do a $400 option. And like, oh yeah, alright.
Yeah, and they'll end up bringing back the next car and the next one because they know Phil and Rob are being, they're being genuine, they're being honest.
Because they know you're not there to rip them, you're just there to provide a good service.
Always, and I always do that. Like some people do come in there and they order a lot of food, and I think, you're gonna eat all this, and I'll kind of go up to them and say, listen, man, there's only 3 of you, a little bit too much. Let's cut back on something else, maybe leave some room for dessert. And they'll eat it, and they'll realise how full they were by not getting that extra pizza or pasta, and they go, all right, you know what, man, that was good that he wasn't trying to fucking, screw us and make that extra $20-30, but then they'll come back next week. And they keep coming back, and they keep coming back.
It's so easy to over-order, but because you want to try everything.
Yeah, of course you do.
Does that burn a restaurant owner, that, there's a lot of food left over?
Nah.
Does that piss you off? How's that work?
Take people already paid for it, but still
take it home. Take it home. What burns me is the appreciation of not appreciating. The effort that goes into meals. Kind of like what you guys do. Yeah. Some people don't appreciate what you guys do, and some people just see us as just being food.
Yeah.
I mean, gnocchi's gnocchi and pasta's pasta and pizza's pizzas. But when you generally you make all your fresh pasta in house, you're getting there early. The chefs are getting there early, and you're making the fresh pasta, and you're actually hand rolling the gnocchi, and you're crumbing all the stencils yourself. That's when you just don't want it just to go like, yeah, just give me this, and they don't appreciate it, and you all of a sudden they had one gnocchi out of the plate. It's like, what did you order that for?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
See, whereas for us, we'll spend 30 hours on one car, and then the customer will show no emotion when they pick it up, and we'll stress them one little scratch that you could barely see, but we'll do it.
And his kid jumps straight in.
His kid will touch it, put his fingers in, say thanks, mate. And we're like,
or the wife does this.
Yeah.
Rob said, please don't touch
to them it's normal. Like for you, it'd be normal. You touch something and you're paying, you quickly wipe with your hand.
Yeah.
But for people like us that are so finesse over it, you don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
You scrunch up like. So it's the same, I guess. And every business has their own little.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think Anth has to go quite soon.
I think we have to.
You gave us a strict timeline.
Can we give your business a plug or what?
Oh yeah.
You really threw it in slightly, didn't you?
Alright, so we've got Fat Franks. If you want to try something that's absolutely amazing.
Amazing. Probably blocking the arteries up a bit, but you know, haven't got it.
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteaks.
Philly cheesesteaks, Fat Franks with a
your restaurant.
And then Olivello at Gregory Hills. Hills, yeah, it's more of a refined Italian restaurant, so we do functions there as well. So yeah, and that's why I'm on a tight schedule today because we've got an event on in the day now in the next 2 hours.
Yeah, and it's one of our friends' events, so if he's late, it's my fault. So
yeah, pretty much his missus is going to be.
But like you said, friends come last.
Well, just say that, just to say friends coming last, because he's probably going to see this podcast. One of our mates.
There's no yoki.
I can't fucking believe I did this about 2 years ago. My mate told me to book in his 30th birthday.
Oh, I know this.
He fucking told me for a month, 2 months, book it in this date. Somehow I went, don't ever book an event with me.
No,
just
ring your mum.
Ring one of the event coordinators, Carmelina, my mum, whatever. And he fucking told me. Yeah, I forgot to book it in, so all his guests rocked up. He had about 40 guests that Saturday day. And he's like, Freya. So I'm fucking at home, like, Saturday day.
You want to go out? You're doing
Okay, he goes, we're here. And I go, yeah, you're joking. He goes, no, we're fucking here. First time and last time that ever happened.
Wow.
He was there, fucking got staff rushed in. The chefs were all there prepping anyway, so that was a good thing. But yeah, just rushed down there, got it all happening. And yeah, we laugh about it now, but yeah, friends come last.
Friends come last, that's it.
That's it, awesome, done.
All right,
thanks guys, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Hope you got something out of it.
Thanks, Peter.
If someone out there wants to be on our show or, just
our video or whatever,
that's
have a laugh. Done.
We're happy to
I got paid for this, by the way, so.
You got a free coffee.
A free coffee and
it was 125 an hour.
A bit of spray wax. Yeah, that's it. Wipe your kitchen down.
You'll take those bottles in the back, so.
Done. Thanks.
See ya.